I support the endorsed candidate, who is Donald Trump. You know, for me, I tell people that I meet all the time, he might not have been your guy, he might not have been my guy, but he is our guy and he's the guy. And the issue for me is, we know what we're going to get from a Hillary Clinton presidency. We've already seen it for 7+ years. You see anemic GDP growth since 2008. You've got 1.7%, and in the last 3 quarters, 1.1%. We're hearing the same things that we heard 8 years ago. Namely, we're going to invest in infrastructure, we're going to do all this. We did almost $1 trillion. You remember the shovel-ready projects? We know what we're going to get on that side, and frankly, this election is going to be about national security, international and domestic, and it's going to be about our private economy. We focus today mostly on the private economy, which both candidates have completely different views of. I think for Donald Trump, the big issue for those of us that are on this side of the political perspective, who are you going to surround yourself? Who are you going to bring in that are you going to make part of your team that understands the issues that are important to the people on the ground that are running the farms and growing the food in this country?
Very specifically, though, what Trump has been saying about the Gold Star parents that talked at the DNC, they seem to... a lot of people seem to be stepping away from that. I mean, do you support what he said in that, or do you find some problems?
Regardless, people politicize a lot of things.
Right,
and they can politicize anything they want. Here's the thing. I understand that he feels as though he was attacked, but when you're dealing with Gold Star parents, people who have made the ultimate sacrifice, I think they get a free pass on all of it. And you know what? That's something that he'll have to learn.
Donald Trump? Yeah, I sure do. He's a Republican candidate, and Donald Trump and myself, we offer a big contrast to Hillary Clinton and Tim Walz. Hillary Clinton and Walz want to give us 4 more years of the same Obama programs that have led us into disarray. They also want to stack the Supreme Court with radicals who will take away our Second Amendment and many of our other rights. And so I support Trump because we're going to go to Washington and make big, bold reform.
What about that bit with the Khan family?
Oh, well, here's the underlying issue. We have to secure our borders and we have to protect the American people from Muslim extremism, supremacists that want to come here.
You would have kept the Khan family out?
Look, I have a refugee program timeout that I've called for, and I also don't believe at this point in time, given what's going on in the world, it makes sense to bring people to America from countries that hate America. It's time to step up and put our country first.
Okay, but back up. You would not let the Khan family come in?
What are you talking about?
Well,
we're not talking about that. We're talking about people right now who are in hostile countries trying to come into the United States. I mean, does anybody see what's happened in Germany, in France, in Belgium, these places? My goodness, it's a disaster. We have to protect the American people, and I stand for that. My opponent has voted to bring in almost 1 million people from countries that hate America in just the last 8 years. Minnesota has a terrorist recruiting problem from existing refugees from Somalia and other countries. What about them? Should we continue to bring them in? I'd say no. Let's figure it out so we can have a system that works and protects the American people.
Should some of the Somalis be deported?
What we should do with refugees is we should try to have safe zones and make sure that they can be repatriated to their home countries. But I would try to create safe zones near their home countries rather than bring them into our culture and change our culture.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I just want to see our country unified, and I'm not going to be voting for Hillary. I can tell you that.
Are you going to vote for Trump?
I probably will. I probably will. He is our nominee for the Republican Party, and I guess I can see that a lot of people want to change. They don't want a politician in Washington anymore. They want somebody to be their voice, and they want somebody who can take the hits when others are attacking them. And I think Trump has kind of proven himself that he can.